Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Higgins Stadium for today's matchup between the Ithaca College Bombers and the Hamilton Continentals. I'm Max Raymond alongside Rihanna DeCrow, here to bring you all the action on this beautifully sunny day here in Ithaca, New York. Ray, how are you today?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day on Ithaca's campus and a beautiful day for some women's lacrosse, and we got a good one in front of us, a little non-conference battle, but nonetheless a game that should mean a lot to both teams considering, power rankings, where you're going to fit in the NCAA tournament if you get in. Hamilton not really in a position to do that, but the Bombers needing a win to boost some confidence.
Hamilton not in a position with their 5-8 record. However, they've faced 7 ranked opponents on the season, most of which sitting themselves within the top 10, facing off against teams like Tufts, who's 2nd, Colby 5th, Middlebury 1st, and Wesleyan 7th. So the record not really showing the true picture of what this Hamilton team can do.
And when you're playing opponents like that sort of caliber all throughout the season, that's when you're going to thrive in these games where you might see a lower ranked opponent like Ithaca. They're still a really solid team nonetheless, but Hamilton, they have experience against these ranked teams. 0 for 7 against ranked teams, but nonetheless looking to get something going here tonight.
Hamilton a little more battle-tested than the Bombers, who've only faced 3 ranked opponents. They won run against Roanoke and lost the other 2. Well, with that said, it is time to begin today's game, in which we get to throw all that out the window, because all that matters now is what these players can do on the field. Showalter and Cody battling as the ball's in the air, still now on the ground. Ground ball yet to be recovered, kicked away, and it will be the Bombers with the opening possession of the game. It's Cody with it, working its way around the field. Now it's Catherine Scallion taking her time, moving downfield, and she's going to now slow things up and look to get this Ithaca offense set up, as that is a turnover from the Bombers. Something that they have struggled with down the stretch of the season, and a leading reason to a lot of their losses have been those turnovers, especially the unforced error. Not what you want to see out of the Bombers to open up this game.
This is something this Continentals team, too, is really good at. They're first in the NESCAC and cause turnovers, so definitely going to be a point of emphasis today for both teams.
Hamilton working on clearing the ball and flipping fields. Taking their time, and now Hamilton, they're going to set up their offense, starting with Leifer up top. Leifer with it, looking for a lane to drive. She finds one she likes. The Bombers crash, and they push her out. So the first attempt at the net denied by the Bombers.
While Hamilton isn't a necessarily super offensive firepower team, this Bombers defense is going to have to play tough.
There's a drive in open lane and a goal. Hamilton strikes first. Number 22, Julia Lee, opens the scoring on her and Hamilton's first shot of the game. The Continentals lead it 1-0.
Like we mentioned, that Bomber defense, they're going to have to work exceptionally hard to meet the challenge that this Continentals team is going to pose. They don't necessarily have a whole lot of firepower on those front lines, but this Bomber defense is going to have to show up nonetheless.
Hamilton averaging only 8.8 goals allowed per game, which for the game of lacrosse is quite good, as lacrosse scoring tends to reach that double-digit mark. And we also look at, again, some of those ranked games that they played. A lot of the ranked games, it was only 3-goal deficits. Through the 7 losses against ranked opponents, Hamilton's goal differential averaged only 5 per game. So they play a strong defense. The Bombers are going to need to make sure that their defense is equally as strong if they want to have a chance to win. As Hamilton, a big win on the draw control. They're moving fast. There's a shot. And Datillo with her first save of the game.
Yeah, for a freshman, Michaela Datillo has been absolutely phenomenal this year. She's been a brick wall in net and a large reason why this team has been able to be so successful.
Now the Bombers trying to figure out and find a way to flip fields. Just running around the field looking for a lane. Finally able to clear it, and now the Bombers will have a chance to set up their technically second offensive possession. However, the first one did not last that long. Bombers doing a good job working the ball, but now they've got to get their eyes to the net. Cody with it, the top scorer, looking for a pass, trying to force it to Scallon, and that's another turnover for the Bombers. And Hamilton, they're moving quickly again.
This Ithaca team, though, super great in this first quarter of play. 53 goals to opponents' 27. I wouldn't be surprised if they have an offensive explosion at some point. Just maybe some early minute jitters.
Hamilton, they're moving fast. That's going to be a shooting space call on the Bombers. So Hamilton will have their first free possession shot of the game. It's going to be number 6. She's going to decide to pass it out. Quick passing and a goal. Hamilton, they strike second. Second of the game in a row. They now lead it 2-0. Kristen Voswinkel with the goal for the Continentals.
Just taking advantage of that bottom left or bottom right corner as well. Dattilo doing all she can, but I like the movement out of the Continentals, being able to create something crafty on the free position chance.
Great passing there. The confusion Bombers seemingly weren't expecting the pass backwards in that scenario, as they were completely caught off guard and frozen in place. In Hamilton, they ran their play to perfection. So the Continentals now up 2-0, 11:47 to go in the first. So plenty of time, but not the best start if you are an Ithaca Bomber fan, as Ithaca is able to win that draw control. That's another aspect of the field of this game that the Bombers have struggled with, and that's Lily Cody. She's taking off. Bombers now, another offensive opportunity. Their first two shut down due to turnovers. See if they can get their first shot on goal of the game. Moving the ball quite well, and there's going to be a whistle. That one against Hamilton, so it'll remain Ithaca ball. Azeri with it. She's going to pass down low. There's a shot right off the crossbar. Rebound going to be collected by the Continentals. So Ithaca, a great drive and shot, but that one just ringing just a little high off the crossbar.
Oh, man, what a great opportunity. And you can bet that Paolucci in net over there for the Continentals is going to be thanking her lucky stars, a.k.a. the crossbar.
There's a turnover, and the Bombers score! Taking advantage of the Hamilton mistake, Ithaca cuts Hamilton's lead in half. It's now 2-1 with 10:36 remaining in the first.
And what great persistence by the Bombers down low to just not let their foot off the gas, even though the Continentals trying to get a breakout. They just keep that pressure on, get the turnover, and what do you know? You convert.
Kelly Azeri with the goal. And a great goal at that. Taking her time with it, too. She didn't rush her shot. She knew that she had plenty of time and no defenders in the area due to Hamilton trying to clear the ball and flip fields. A great play by Ithaca.
And Azeri's 32nd goal on the season. The sophomore has really had a breakout season for this Ithaca team and stepped up in a big place where, you lost Sydney Phillips, you lost Maisie Veach, you lost Caroline Wise. She's really been that offensive producer for Ithaca this year that they needed to step up.
There's another draw control win for the Bombers. Important to win those draw controls as it gives you another offensive possession. And now Ithaca could score here and tie the game. And they're given this opportunity because they're able to execute and score. That's a pass down low and a save. Beautiful save in net by Paolucci. And that's her first save of the day.
Yeah, really good job by Paolucci. She's had, an unlucky season with just the defense and the struggles that they've had in being in the toughest conference in women's lacrosse, but playing strong here.
Here comes Hamilton. They're moving fast. Another shot, and that's a goal. Hamilton responds. Voswinkel, her second of the game, and Hamilton bring things back, their 2-goal lead.
And listen, it's still early here if you're the Bombers defense. As you can see, they're all having a conversation down low at the net, and that's what you need to do. Communicate, make sure you can get back on the horse. This is a team that dominates normally in this first quarter, so got to make sure that, you're communicating and tightening things up as the game goes on.
Excuse me, I believe that was Alex Orlando who got that goal and the one prior to. That is a 19, not a 14. My bad. I believe she had the first one as well. So it's 2 goals for Orlando. Her hair covering the top of her number, so it was hard to tell whether it was just the 9 or the 4. Nonetheless, it's Hamilton who now leads it 3-1. And Hamilton perfectly executing their offense. Fast pace. Once they get going, they seemingly cannot be stopped. As there's a pass going the wayside, kept in play. Still on the ground, though, not fully recovered. Whistle's going to be blown. It will remain Hamilton ball. So Hamilton almost coughing a turnover off the draw control, but they are able to secure their second draw control of the day. Leifer with it. Leifer, 22 goals on this season. And while she was the top scorer on this team, but Orlando has surpassed her today. As there's a shot save, I believe, by Datillo. I think she might have gotten a piece of that one. So Datillo, 2 saves on the day, and the ball will go out of bounds. I believe Continental may have touched it after the fact, so it's Ithaca ball. And let's see if the Bombers can now flip fields.
Got to make sure you're hanging tough in transition. This Continentals team doing a good job keeping the pressure on in the midfield area. The Bombers are struggling to get the breakout.
Another turnover there from the Bombers. Their third of the day, so Hamilton will now have the opportunity. It's Leifer with it. She's looking for a lane. She's looking to dodge. Can't find it. Passes it out. Whistle blows before the shot, so it's shooting space call, another one I believe. So no goal on the play due to the whistle, but Hamilton still a solid opportunity now with the shooting space call. Anya Cleary with it. She's going to drive, she's going to shoot, and Datillo's going to knock it away. Hamilton, though, the 2 players down at X, able to keep possession, but Datillo, a big save on that great scoring opportunity for the Continentals. Hamilton still with possession, looking for a lane. Ithaca tightening up the defense a little bit. 45 on the shot clock, so plenty of time for Hamilton. The movement, supreme, the shot saved by Datillo. I was going to say pristine, the movement from Hamilton. A great shot, but Datillo a better save. The Bombers in need of a clean transition. And they are able to execute it. Now they need to execute on offense. As they trail 2 goals, it's 3-1 Continentals. After Orlando scored her second goal of the day. Bombers taking their time with passing. You gotta be careful not to force. There's a lane, there's a shot, but that ball is gonna get knocked around and knocked away. And so Hamilton, their defense stands strong once again.
Yeah, the Continentals are just doing a really good job clogging lanes and not giving the Bombers any room to breathe. It's hard to find a pass out there.
Yeah, we talked about how good this Hamilton defense has been so far this season, and they are really showing it off today. Also showing off their great ability at clearing the ball. They don't seem to want to slow down at all. Lifer, though, going to take her time with it, allow her teammates to move to create some lanes. She's not happy. She's going to pass it off. Great slide. Still a lane. A shot and another save from Datillo, but a whistle will be called. It's going to remain Bomber ball. So Datillo, another save. Continuing to add more reasons why she's one of the top netminders in the Liberty League.
You can see, though, this Continental's defense working so tough in transition as well. They're all over the Bombers. Don't even want them to let them get out of their own zone.
Ithaca working, finding a lane, able to get the clear. And I talk about the clear being so important because it was another aspect of the game that the Bombers struggled with when they took on William Smith, the top team in the Liberty League, as well as a top-ranked team in the nation, as that is another turnover from the Bombers. Turnovers, draw controls, and clears. Three aspects that Ithaca struggled with, but seemingly today forcing turnovers is going to be one of their strengths, as there's another forced turnover from the Bombers.
And of course, this late in the season, too, as you're approaching the conference tournament, you're approaching the Liberty League tournament, you got to make sure those things are all neat and tidy. And the Bombers doing a good job here, maybe trying a few things out before the conference tournament comes into play, but always you have to look down the line and say, hey, number 11 William Smith is waiting for us in the conference championship. They also got defeated by Union earlier on in the season, so again, just quite a few tough teams in this conference that you got to play clean against if you're going to want to come out on top. Bombers reigning Liberty League champions, but need to make sure that they're taking care of business in practice and in games like this one, so that they can have the confidence rolling into that tournament.
The Bombers coming off of a big win against Bard, but are going to have to battle if they want to continue their momentum moving forward, as their seed for the Liberty League Conference not totally locked in just yet, as they have one more conference matchup this Saturday against Skidmore here at Higgins Stadium. We'll get to more about that matchup and the importance of that matchup a little later in this game, but for now, Ithaca, an offensive opportunity that they need to capitalize on, as they don't want to let this game get away too soon. Ball movement great, but Hamilton just better at filling the lanes. Bombers ball movement, though, working relatively well. Clean. There's a shot. There's a save. Ground ball still available. Recovered by the Bombers. A pass in front. That one, though, not cleanly collected. And now here comes the Continentals with the ball.
Oh, man, what a great opportunity, too, off that clear. You pick up the loose change. You just can't clean up.
Here comes Hamilton. They're moving fast, but that's a pass knocked away. Ground ball recovered by number 15, Anya Cleary. And that's going to be now a timeout called. I think it's Hamilton who called the timeout. It was Hamilton. So Continentals calling a timeout as some sloppy passes in this clear. Fortunately for the Continentals, they were able to recover the ground balls, but it was not the cleanest of clears that you would have liked to see.
And if you're head coach Callie Kelly, though, you got to be happy with your team right now. You're leading 3-1 over the number 21 team in the nation. And sure, you play in a really tough conference, but nonetheless, you haven't got a ranked win all season, and you've come out pretty hot. You got to like the looks on defense and the pressure that you're putting on this Bombers squad in transition.
Hamilton looking to set up a play and continue to pour on the goals in this game that can turn quite defensive moving forward. Both teams a bit stronger defensively than offensively, although Ithaca 12.93 goals per game is quite good. But nonetheless, the strengths for both of these teams lie on the side of defense.
Yeah, 5th in the Liberty League in goals per game, so you're doing a good job on the offensive side, but just a few games where you've just let that slip. But you have a really good confidence-boosting game against Bard where you get to see some players you don't normally see. They get some time in there and get to build their confidence for the future. And more than that, you get a look at maybe an option that you have in the postseason that you could potentially use in the conference tournament or whenever you may need them, whether it's the NCAA tournament as well.
That Bard win, real crucial for the Bombers to really hone in, open up different places you just talked about, and kind of set themselves up for this final push these last two games again against this really good, solid Hamilton program, and then again Skidmore, which will close out the season. Hamilton coming out of the timeout, curious to see what kind of a play they have drawn up. So far this game, though, the strengths have been with the quick passing and the quick driving. So I'm assuming they'll have something like that set up as Lifer, once again, everything seems to be through her today. She'll get the ball first in the first crack and drive into the net for the Continentals. Dumps it off. Ithaca standing strong so far. There's a cutter, there's a shot, and Datillo with the save. Ground ball still loose, and Datillo is able to recover it. So Hamilton, they call the timeout. They get the time to set up a play, but Ithaca stands strong defensively. Datillo up to 6 saves on the day already. As there's a ball dropped, but a whistle called, so ball will remain in the possession of Ithaca. But the Bombers need to figure out how to transition and try to transition quicker, as quite a lot of time has been run out on the shot clock. They finally get that transition across with 50 seconds left, so 30 seconds is what it took for them to clear the ball. They'll look to try to clean that up and get that going quicker so they can have more time to figure it out, as you're going to need as much time as you can get when trying to find the lanes and gaps in this Hamilton defense. Ithaca, there's a lane, there's a shot, but an even better save. So Hamilton continuing to do just enough to stop the Bombers from scoring.
Yeah, Paolucci doing a really good job down there in net. Looks completely composed, and the Bombers with a great look, but nonetheless foiled again.
Paolucci, 4 saves now on the day, and most of them covering off the upper part of the goal, so the Bombers might need to try and set their sights a little lower on net when shooting moving forward. Hamilton with the ball offensively. Ball works its way into Lifer's stick. She now sees a lane. She's trying to push towards the net, running out of space because the crease is there. She draws back, but throws it right into Datillo's stick. Another save.
And you could see the skill out of Madigan Lifer. Man, she just has that agile feet and that ability to turn and fire, just like she did there. Good thing Datillo was heads up down there in the cage.
Whistle called. It's going to remain Bombers ball. There's a sloppy pass. Ground ball, kicked around, still loose, and the whistle blows to mark the end of the first. Hamilton, they lead it 3-1 after dominating basically the entire first. Welcome back to Higgins Stadium. Second quarter action about to begin as the visiting Hamilton Continentals lead the hosting Ithaca College Bombers 3-1. Max Raymond alongside Rihanna DeCrow. And Ray, Hamilton, they really dominated that first quarter.
And you really got to give it to the defense. They were incredible in transition and really clean on their own end. They were suffocating those Bomber offensive chances, but a really good job too taking advantage of the offensive possessions that they did have. Owning the shots category, owning the turnover category as well. They've been doing a lot of things right here in this first. Hamilton
doing everything right. Ithaca doing some good, some bad. Definitely room for improvement. And we'll see if they can continue what was good, which was the draw controls, which Ithaca did lead 3-2, but Hamilton able to recover the first draw control of the second and even up that mark 3-3 on the score sheet. Hamilton, that's number 10. Doing a good job moving the ball, but another turnover from the Continentals, so Ithaca. Good defensive stop, and now they're moving fast.
Momentum is what you need right now.
Driving down the field, but now going to slow things up. That was number 8, I believe, for the Bombers. Natural. Recovering the ground ball, and then being able to flip fields. Lee Natural now back with the ball. And it works its way back to Cody. Cody leading the Bombers with 35 goals on the season. By far the number 1 scorer on this squad.
And when things aren't going right, you got to look to your upperclassmen in Cody and in Liz Green to, put the gas on and start some opportunities.
Speaking of Elizabeth Green, there's a shot from her, but Paolucci makes another save. Paolucci up to 5 saves on the day, as she'll take her time and wait for her teammates to get open.
And you said it, Max. This team is battle-tested, but Paolucci looks battle-tested as well down there in net. She's been absolutely stout.
Paolucci having to drop to her knees for that save. And now she's just taking her time, and while she does have plenty of time, now a minute, 60 seconds on the shot clock, but that pass kind of forced and a turnover, and now the Bombers have it back. And there's Elizabeth Green who was saved, and she's going to drive to the net, put a shot on. Going to be saved, but a shooting space is going to be called. So Elizabeth Green has the opportunity. She shoots. Paolucci makes the save, but then the turnover, it's Green who's able to recover the ground ball, put another shot on, not able to score again, but gets the whistle. So a third scoring opportunity for Green within the last minute 30 or so.
And you like this intensity, you like this movement out of the Bombers and this momentum.
Ithaca coming out hot to start this second quarter. A little sluggish in the first, a lot more energy as Green's going to drive towards the front. That shot, and she scores. Elizabeth Green goes 5-hole and cuts the lead back down to 1. Hamilton still leads it. It's 3-2.
And 7 free position goals on the year now for Liz Green. The senior has just been nothing short of exceptional. And, when you're working under a couple of really stout upperclassmen, you had to step up this year as a senior. And Liz Green has done that. And starting to lead her team now in this game as well is going to be really important down the stretch. When you have a not so great half, she brings it back and leads the charge here in the second.
Elizabeth Green, the senior out of Massachusetts, brings the deficit back down to 1 for the third time on the day. And now the Bombers, a draw control and another clean offensive possession away from tying this game back up for the first time since it was 0-0. It'll be Julia Esposito to take the draw control for the Bombers. The official in the way, so I cannot see who it is exactly who's in there for Hamilton. believe it is Showalter. I'm not sure. When the official moves away, I'll be able to capture that number. It is. Draw control. Ball's up. Whistle blows. It's going to be an infraction against Hamilton. So Ithaca will have possession. And again, the opportunity to tie this game up for the first time since it was 0-0 to open. A long pass completed to Azeri. Another pass in front. That one dropped. Looking for Juliana Esposito. But Esposito drops the pass. Hamilton recovers the ground ball, and now they look to capitalize on the Ithaca turnover. Hamilton driving, had a lane that was 24, I believe, Winslow. She didn't like it, so she decided to pass it off. Wasn't happy, and you're at a point in this game where you don't need to force anything. There's a lane, but Totillo makes a save. Ground ball still loose. That one, another save. And Totillo able to find the ground ball. What a chaotic set of plays at the doorstep of the goal, but Totillo continuing to stand strong today.
So much experience for just a freshman down there in net. Both of these, two freshman goalkeepers, going to be a fun storyline to watch. The youth just stand tall in goal.
Cody with the ball. Passes it off. There's a lane, number 6, Azeri. Doesn't like it. Founds its way to Cody. Ball dropped, but a whistle called. Cody will keep it. Bombers still with possession. 53 on the shot clock. Now ticking under 11 minutes remaining in the second. Cody to Azeri. That pass dropped. Ground ball still loose. Azeri recovers it. She's moving fast, looking for a lane. Passes it off. Ball work back to Cody up top, so the Bombers will reset with 30 seconds now on the shot clock. Hamilton, defense stifling. Aggressive defense, getting into the faces of the Bombers. Not allowing them so much as the space to breathe. But Ithaca somehow finding room. Great passing, but there's Cody. A rare mistake from Cody. That one, she kind of sailed the pass. Looking for Armstrong, so the turnover. And Hamilton now with ball.
Yeah, when the timer is starting to tick down low there, you're getting a little bit of pressure in this Continental's defense. They've just been explosive.
Sorry, I almost stepped on your toes as the Bombers bring in an aggressive ride. There, a great opportunity, but Paolucci, another great save. So Ithaca being aggressive, as you're seeing now here in the ride. That one, it's going to be a whistle. Stick a little too close to the body and the head. The Hamilton player, so we'll stay Hamilton ball, but Ithaca coming out fiery, coming out aggressive. They forced the turnover, unable to capitalize on the opportunity, but still staying quite aggressive. Hamilton now finding the lane. Number 6, Stone Street, now in the shade. That shade going to continue to creep out as the sun sets behind the Athletic and Events Center. As there's a shot and a goal. Great ball movement leads to another goal for the Continentals, who are now back up to their 2-goal lead. 4-2, 9-10 remaining in the half.
And that's what happens when you have good defense. It leads to good offense, and the Continentals doing a good job of converting on all their offensive opportunities. Hamilton
continuing to show off their ball movement, but also showing off their off-ball movement, which has created all of these opportunities. Having the awareness to know where to move and being able to find the space while not having the ball. It was Anya Cleary who scored that goal, the third different goal scorer for the Continentals.
The This team has a lot of weapons and a lot of firepower, so you got to make sure that you're playing tight to everyone on defense, not just the few goal leaders out there.
We knew coming into this that this was going to be a interesting contest, as it's hard to judge how good this Hamilton team is. Their record says that they're a little below average with the 5-8 record. However, it's the teams who they've played who make you question how truly good this team is, and so far they're proven, Hamilton that is, that they are still a really strong squad, although their record may say otherwise.
Yeah, 5-8 doesn't really tell the whole story when you're playing in a conference with 6 other ranked opponents.
Cody with it. Going to flip it to Ozeri. Ozeri, the long pass. Able to complete it now. Ball on the far side is Ithaca. Haven't used that far side all too much. It's been a lot of the near side with Cody, Ozeri, and Armstrong. Cody with it. A great catch. Finds someone in front, but not enough space. That was Sydney Smith, who was able to collect the pass in front of the net, but Hamilton doing a better job at crashing and not allowing the Bombers and Smith a lane to put on a shot. As now they're moving fast. It's Leifer. She's got great speed, and in this game, speed kills. It's nice to have, as there's a pass to an open lane, but a shooting space called. The ball movement, it can create the scoring opportunities, but it can also force penalties, which create scoring opportunities. That'll be Winslow with the free shot opportunity. She drives and she scores! Going low on Datillo. And Hamilton, their lead now the largest of the day. It's 3 goals. It's 5-2.
The Continentals have really exploited that lower half of the net on Datillo. All those high shots she's been able to save, but it seems like the low ones off the turf are the ones that she struggled to block away a little bit.
And Winslow with the great field awareness as well, getting incredibly close to the crease, to the point where after that play, a handful of Bomber defenders were communicating with the officials and I believe questioning if she stepped in the creases. Even from here, it looked like she might have entered the goal crease, something you're not allowed to do. But the officials, 2 of which who had great angles, both ruled that it was not a violation of that crease. So the goal stands, and Hamilton, with 7:42 left in the half, extend their lead to the largest of the day. And now it's up to Ithaca to see if they can find a response.
You think maybe at the start of the second, this Bombers team starting to generate some momentum with that goal, but obviously it's been stifled a little bit by Hamilton. Got to be persistent, though. Still a lot of lacrosse left to play.
And what's so great and really allows this Hamilton offense to be able to do what they're doing is the defense. Hamilton offensively, they don't have to worry about trying to force an opportunity that isn't there, because they know that if they take their time, either they'll find the lane or worst comes to worst, they don't score, and their defense is probably just going to make another stop. As Leifer with it, she has a lane driving, whistle blows, and the goal is going to count. So it's Leifer with her first of the day, and now Hamilton leads it 6-2. I stopped my goal call there because a whistle had been blown, but the officials ruling that it was going to be a call against Ithaca, but due to the whistle coming after the shot and the score, the penalty is waved off, and Hamilton will extend their lead even further some roughly 30 or so seconds later.
Time to get on the horse right now, though. You don't want to, dig yourself a hole too deep if you're the Bombers for that second half. You got to find a little bit of momentum, find a way to get into your own attacking zone and get some offense generated.
Goals can come quick in lacrosse. There's evidence to that fact. So for Ithaca, still time to make the comeback, but they're going to need to, first gain possession of the ball by generating a stop defensively and then figure things out offensively as Leifer back with it. She's going to pass things off, but the ball will work back into her stick. And so Ithaca, you got to get a stop defensively, and then you've got to figure out not just one play, but a handful of plays that are going to be able to effectively work against this Hamilton defense.
And Hamilton owning the last couple draw controls as well. Just got to make sure you're doing things right from the jump.
The fundamentals of this game, Ithaca struggling a little bit with that today. As there's a ball knocked out of the stick of Leifer, but she's able to recover the ground ball, works it over to a teammate that's Julia Lee. She has a goal today. Hamilton working a little slower now. Great dodge, There's a lane, there's a shot, and there's a goal. Sarah Kramer. She'll get her first on the day, 8th on the season after some great dodging, and Hamilton continues to extend their lead. It's now 7-2 with 5:58 left in the second quarter.
This Continentals team, you're 5-8 on the year. You only have 2 wins in the NESCAC, but you're starting to figure things out. You can see on their roster they've played with their starters a little bit. They've shuffled people in and out of games and really starting to hit their groove. They beat Connecticut College and U of R by handily large measures, and they're really starting to figure things out, and it's been evident here tonight over this Bombers team.
Ithaca calling a timeout as Coach Carrie Moore looking to rally her troops and provide some words of wisdom that might be able to help this Bomber squad solve their problems today, as Hamilton has had Ithaca's number.
Yeah, don't want to let this one slip away too far, and the Bombers looking uncharacteristic of themselves today, whether that be because you're missing a starter in Phoebe Hosford, or you just haven't been able to find your rhythm here in this first half. You got to find a way to make sure you're keeping things tight, so when you get your halftime break and you come out in the second half, you're able to bounce back.
Ithaca still on the lesser side of these turnover mark. Ithaca 8 turnovers, Hamilton only 5. Hamilton also shooting a lot better. An interesting stat, they have 17 shots. All 17 are on goal. An incredible statistic, something you don't see too often. So we'll keep an eye on that perfect shooting, as DeTillo, 10 saves already. And although 7 goals against, it's really hard to say that it's on DeTillo when she's made so many saves. She's been tested so much already. Ithaca defensively are going to need to figure out a way to help their goalie out.
And this is a team, Max, that only allows around 25 shots a game. Hamilton already starting to creep up into those numbers where you're thinking, okay, this team is really generating some offense on us right now. How can we tighten things up on defense to make sure that they stop getting shots through to DeTillo? I mean, of course, you can count on her in net. She's been stout so far, 10 saves. She has a season high of 13, so she's creeping up towards that number as well. But regardless, you got to tighten things up on defense, help your goalie out a little bit.
The Shadows creeping out a little further, about halfway, splitting the goal. Definitely going to play into a factor, as we might reach a point where some of these shots at slightly bit of a range to DeTillo's right, the far side of the field, could be coming from the sunlight into the shade where DeTillo is now going to be. So we could see that playing a factor in the shadows on this field, having an effect on these players as well as we move forward, as another draw will be underway. Each team 5 draw controls on the day. That one off and free, still loose. Leifer and Cody, the top scorers for each team, battling for it, but it's Leifer who's able to recover. And Leifer's no longer the top. Actually, she is now tied with Orlando at 23 goals each on the season. So Leifer was the top scorer by 1, now tied with her teammates.
That's just a testament, though, to this Hamilton offense. No one really jumps off the score sheet or the stat sheet at you, but regardless, they still manage to put their numbers up.
What really jumps out at me is this team and the amount of goal scorers that they have is what's really jumping. It's a team game in which everyone's looking to contribute. As there's a shot that goes wide, Hamilton, though, a player closest to when the ball went out of play, so they will maintain possession. It's based on when the ball goes out, who's the closest. And in this case, it's Hamilton, so they keep possession. Ithaca standing strong defensively as under 30 now as Leifer finds a lane, cuts to the front, and that one finds the back of the net. Leifer, her second of the day. And Hamilton, they continue to pour it on. 8-2, 4:43 remaining in the second quarter.
5 games in a row where Madigan Leifer has been able to find the back of the net. She's just hit her stride really here at this latter half of the season.
So Leifer and her second, adding to the continental lead of the Bombers, are going to need to find a way to get through this next 4 minutes and 43 seconds, get to halftime, and they're going to have to really figure things out and make that second half adjustment as Hamilton really, truly now taking full control of the driver's seat into this game.
Yeah, got to go into that locker room at halftime. Hopefully you can end this half on a positive note, and then you can go in with your teammates, with your coaches, and have a little come-to-Jesus moment, figure some things out before you come back onto the field for the second half.
Another draw control. That one low. So it will be Hamilton ball. Ball needs to go above the player's shoulders. That one flicked out a little low. So it will be Hamilton ball, and it's Leifer with it. Everything runs through her stick as 2 Ithaca defenders playing real physical. Not giving Leifer any lane, but a whistle is going to be called. We'll wait to see what the call is. It's going to remain Hamilton ball, and Leifer will still have it, but Ithaca turning up the physicality a little bit, and while you can't necessarily check and hit the other player, you can get quite tight, and Ithaca bringing the double team there. Hamilton with the ball, driving towards the front of the net, a little bit of a crease roll. Opportunity not there. Ball's passed out. The ball movement really turning up, continuing to be stellar as that pass goes wide. So, besides that pass right there, Hamilton's passing has been very clean today, and a great reason why they have this 6-goal lead is there's a physical play. Ball will remain in the possession of Hamilton as you cannot check a player. Number 6, Stone Street with it. Down low, looking for crease rolls. That ball's knocked out of her stick. Still on the ground. Stone Street recovers. Passes it out. But there goes the shot clock. So Ithaca standing strong and able to battle long enough, and in lacrosse you don't need to force the turnover. You can also just stand strong long enough to run out that shot clock. Ithaca does just that. Whistle blown, calls against 21 on the hit, and she's going to be shown a green card. So Ithaca will be player up for a little bit. We'll wait and see how long she'll be off. It'll be a minute.
That looked like an unfortunate accident where, two players were just moving towards the ball super quick and they collide. And, the Hamilton player coming out with the green card there. But a phenomenal opportunity now for the Bombers, who are first in the Liberty League in woman up opportunities, need to take advantage.
This is a great opportunity for the Bombers, as there'll be a woman up and have the chance to net a goal here and try to capture a little bit of momentum. Zeri with it. She's going to try to find a pass to Cody. That one tipped, knocked away. Ball on the ground, recovered by Hamilton. And it's the Continentals who are able to draw up the better play while still a woman down. And now they'll be able to hold on to the ball for the next 10 seconds offensively. And so Hamilton will kill the penalty off. Great job defensively, 2-1. And so there it goes. Ithaca, the opportunity, but turns the ball over on a sloppy pass. And Hamilton, they'll look to take advantage again of yet another Ithaca turnover and a great opportunity. But that one, the crease roll, ball falls free. Hamilton recovering the ground ball. There's a sloppy pass, kicked around a little bit. Still free, recovered by the Bombers. So sloppy plays from both ends, and now Ithaca, another opportunity. They're moving fast, driving to the net, whistle called, shooting space, going to be a free possession shot.
And what Hamilton's done so well is move the ball incredibly fast in transition. The Bombers giving them a taste of their own medicine there, saying, hey, I'll turn on the Jets too if you want to see it.
Lexi Kellish with the wheels. And now she'll have the opportunity. We'll see what she does. She's going to drive, put a shot on, but a save made by Paolucci. And so the opportunity gone the wayside, as under a minute now, under 50 seconds remain in the first half. Hamilton with the ball. And we'll see what they choose to do, if they're going to try and drive and score. They're definitely going to take their time and leave as little time as possible for Ithaca to have an offensive opportunity. Should Hamilton not score, 30 seconds. There's a drive, and there's another goal. Schleifer finds the lane, and she goes top shelf on Datillo. Hamilton, they lead 9-2 with 27 seconds left in the first half.
And you have two really good opportunities if you're the Bombers, of that free position and the woman up opportunity. Hamilton turns around and converts, so really good persistence and resilience by this Continental squad.
Hamilton in full control, continuing to dominate this game in all aspects, as that was a beautiful shot. 27 seconds. If you move fast enough time to set up a few passes and a clean shot, but first you've got to get a clean recovery off this draw, which neither team has been able to do. Ball's in the air, recovered for a second, but still free, knocked free. Schleifer recovers it. Now it's loose again. Hot potato, and it's the Bombers who will solidify and collect possession. 10 and ticking, 5, and Ithaca just going to try to kill it off. Ball still free. It's knocked around, 2-1, and there's the horn. Don't know if that shot and save by Datillo will count. But in those last 27 seconds, the ball turned into a hot potato, and no one wanted to keep possession of that one.
Both teams doing a really solid job, but this Continental's offense, man, they've been incredibly efficient. Every opportunity that they have, they're taking advantage of.
So that will be the end of the first half. Hamilton Continentals lead at 9-2. We'll be right back with the second half.
Back with you here on the Bomber Sports Network. Rana DeCrow alongside Max Raymond for the coverage of Ithaca women's lacrosse against the Hamilton Continentals. Took the short drive down the interstate over in Utica, New York. Well, I should say more like Hamilton, New York, but took the short drive down, and they now lead the Bombers 9-2 here as we get ready to go here in the second half. Max, it's becoming clearer and clearer that 5-8 on the season for the Continentals doesn't really tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. This Hamilton Continental team has shown up today and has been playing every aspect of lacrosse to near perfection. The goaltending has been great. The defense has been strong, and the offense has been executing very nicely. This Hamilton team has been playing, again, near perfect lacrosse today. 7
different goal scorers, 2 for the Continentals, spreading the wealth incredibly well. Those 2 goals for the Bombers coming from Liz Green and Kelly Azeri. As we get underway here in the second half, the Bombers struggled in transition, and it's largely due to the speed that Madigan Lifer, number 7 in the blue, has brought to this lacrosse field here today.
Speed kills in this game, and when you can take advantage of having it, you can really execute quite well, and everything's been running through Lifer today offensively for Hamilton.
Not only that, but this Continentals team is quite a bit taller than the Bombers as well. Quite a few women on this squad that are upwards of 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", and they've been able to get sticks in lanes and overall just control the passing ability because they're seeing over the heads of Ithaca.
Yeah, that height really helps when looking for the open teammates. It also helps when you end up with the reach advantage as well, trying to fight for the ground balls that have been plentiful today.
Olivia Puppo shoved to the ground, so that'll be a turnover for the Bombers, and they'll get a chance on offense here early in this second half. Working their way down the field, it's Krellin with it. Bombers trying to switch up the lineup a little bit as Green kind of throws it into the stick of Voswinkle. She recollects and looks to set up her offense. Kellish with it on the near side as the Bombers work it around the 12-meter fan. Here's Azeri with it. Talked about the usage of the far side. We'll see what the Bombers do mixing things up here. Green to Azeri, trying to find a lane. This Continentals defense, though, suffocating as the Bombers' lead scorer and Cody can't seem to find anything either.
Cody tried to push forward, but just was completely pushed back.
30 seconds on the shot clock. As down low as Kellish. Tried to look for an opportunity, instead threw it into the stick of Anya Cleary, who was right in the way. And the Continentals, man, their transition play has been so phenomenal. This year is right in front, down low, and just a little narrow of the cage to the near side. They missed that one, but an early opportunity there for Hamilton.
Speed again, creating a great scoring opportunity, but the shot just going awry, and I think might have been due to contact that the officials are going to deem took place either before or during that shot and awarding Hamilton the free shot.
Continentals working in right in front of the cage, and that's Cleary, her second of the day. 10-2 with 12 minutes and 41 seconds to go, and the Continentals not taking their foot off the gas despite the halftime break.
We've talked about Hamilton and what they've been able to do on the field, but also we're seeing more and more today Hamilton and how well they know this field is. Once again, that was another opportunity on the free shot where, after the fact, Ithaca Bomber players questioning the ref whether or not the player had stepped in the crease. This time we could see the Bombers pointing at the crease, questioning and asking, but again, ruled that it's a good goal. So Hamilton, they're able to execute through passing and with their sticks, but also very knowledgeable of where they are on the field.
Hamilton, something they've done well in the latter half of this game as well is those draw controls. And Kat Showalter in the draw control circle, she's been just phenomenal. Esposito gets it there, though. Bombers get a chance to generate, but this is where it really matters, getting a clean transition and a clean clear. It's Mandel with it. She moves to the far side of the field and hounded by 3 Hamilton defenders. Finally, Cody gets it as she works her way down the near side, and the Bombers have an opportunity now on offense. It's Armstrong, this team's leader in assists. Cody on the near side of the 12-meter fan. Liz Green tries to go low with it. She's turned away by Paolucci, and the Continentals turn the Bombers away again.
Paolucci, 7 saves now on the day. 778 save percentage. She's just been so good today.
Kaltzis with it. She brings it down the field, and it's Alex Orlando right on the doorstep. She's turned away by Datillo and the Bomber defenders. Hamilton will regroup. Orlando, who's been so phenomenal, hands it over to Cleary, who's hit her stride here in this game. Julia Lee with it now, trying to weave her way through traffic. She can't find space. Shot clock clicking down. It's just about 30. Leifer hands it off again to her teammate in Orlando, swinging it behind the cage. Continentals trying to find space with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Finally do. It was Kaltzis with it, and she'll be credited with the goal. 11-2, and the Continentals with no means of letting this game slip away.
Continuing to pour it on. A delayed goal call as the ref initially made the call on a penalty. However, after seeing that even with the penalty made, Hamilton still scored, she awarded the goal. The second time we've actually seen this happen today. Something that doesn't happen too often, but quite interesting. We've seen it now twice today where the official went to make a penalty call, but instead Hamilton scored anyways to wipe that penalty off the board.
Eugenia Kaltzis with that one. She had a goal in each of her last 4 games played, so 5 games in a row now with a goal for Kaltzis. 11-2 with 10 minutes and 48 seconds here in this third. That one high into the air, and Esposito can't collect. She's hit in the face by Showalter.
And there's that height advantage coming into play. Another aspect where the height advantage makes a difference in this game of lacrosse.
Bomber defense tries to collect themselves down low. They finally will as Hamilton takes their time getting into the zone. They work it behind the cage and back out to Orlando. The senior midfielder, such a leader out there for this squad. Now over to Cleary. Cleary back out to Orlando. They play tic-tac-toe and can't find anything. Cleary still persistent. Now to Orlando. Down low. It's right with it as she swings one towards the cage, and Datillo makes the grab.
Datillo, 13 saves, equaling her single game best in this season, but also due to her being a first year, it's also her career.
8th in the Liberty League in saves per game. She's got 13 here this afternoon. Bombers looking to crawl back into this one. It's Green with it, has to dodge the referee as she makes her way to the 8-meter fan. Behind the cage for Armstrong. This team's assist leader when she has the ball. You wonder if she's going to do something with it. Turns it over there, though. And that one, Grace Martucci, who turned it over, who caused that turnover. She's first in the NESCAC in that category, so you got to give her respect with so many ranked teams in that conference. Continentals looking for another one. They go far side with it. Over and over again, this Hamilton team taking advantage of the holes in the Bomber defense.
more speed, more great passing, and great execution from the Continentals. And the Bombers really reeling right now. They are desperate to find any opportunity.
Anya Cleary has her hat trick here this afternoon with 2 assists to go along with it. So she's got 5 points. Just a quiet night for her, right, Max?
just a simple night for her as Ithaca calls a timeout. And
Cleary did something similar against Connecticut College just last week. 3 goals with 2 assists, and she's met that here. And that is goal number 100 as well for Anya Cleary, the senior. A big milestone there.
That's why. I was wondering why all the players on Hamilton's sideline were just going crazy, but there it is, 100. An incredible milestone. That ball rolled off the field and will be probably moved to a trophy case in the Cleary household.
Absolutely. Even here at Division III, you always have to celebrate the milestones that these athletes reach, and we're lucky enough to get to view on both sides of both the Bombers and the Continentals, and any team that visits the South Hill, just how incredible these athletes are. It's always a pleasure to watch.
They are truly stellar, and even D3, they can really put on a show and make so much as the average Joe look like a fool with their athleticism. It's been a lot of fun getting to watch and enjoy the great athleticism that has been showcased all across this hill.
And playing in two tough conferences in the Liberty League and the NESCAC, 2 very high-level, high-caliber conferences that, you take a look at some of the teams and you say, man, you guys could probably compete at the Division I level if you really wanted to and put up a fight.
These teams are really, really good, and it's hard fought, it's competitive, and the Liberty League especially is really seemingly starting to get quite competitive. William Smith really claiming that top spot, but looking a little past them, it's quite tight. Separation of a win or 2 between second place and 5th and 6th in the Liberty League.
Liberty League so competitive on the men's side, starting to work that way for the women's side as well. As we saw Skidmore, who the Bombers have to face this Saturday, they were receiving votes just a week ago, now have fallen out of those standings, but nonetheless this Bomber team at 21, William Smith at 11, and just to speak volumes to the other teams in this conference, when you dismantle a team like Ithaca for Union and Vassar, who have handed the Bombers losses this year, super impressive how competitive this conference is. And you look at the NESCAC, just an absolutely stacked conference, similar to the Liberty League on the men's side.
NESCAC is absolutely loaded and proving to why that although Hamilton has 7 losses against ranked conference opponents, they're still a great team because of how good that conference is.
Free position try for the Continentals. It was Lily Goldsmith who got the attempt off, but just wide of the cage.
Just wide, so Totilo will have to wait to eventually, hopefully for her, get that save to set her own personal best for saves in a single game.
Cleary with it, she's knocked over. And that'll be a yellow card handed to Lily Cody. So the Bombers will be a woman down now for 2 minutes.
Not a position you want to be in if you're Ithaca. Trying to find an answer and a way to maybe crawl back, maybe make this game a little competitive. Not what you want to do, and not what you want to see out of one of your leaders and upperclassmen of this team.
Continentals have had 9 woman-up chances this year. Haven't been incredibly efficient. but get a chance to do it here. They've been successful against this Bomber defense so far. You take away a woman, you can only imagine what happens and what lanes open up for them.
Ithaca going to have to be aware.
As they net one there, it's Alex Orlando, the senior midfielder, with her 24th goal on the year.
There's the passing, working to a charm, and I was about to say, Ithaca, they've got to be aware of the off-ball movement, but it was kind of off-ball, but also on-ball, the screen fake pass that led to the open opportunity for a goal for the Continentals.
Orlando, the one trusted with the shot. She'll pick up 3 goals now here this evening. So another hat trick for the Continentals. That's 2 women on the Hamilton squad who have 3 goals apiece, Cleary and Orlando.
Hamilton trying to make a case for why they should be another NESCAC team that is ranked. So they're really starting to pour things on. That one's going to be called off. It did not go high enough. Oh.
Looks like they're going to hand it over to the Continentals as a couple of whistles, and Lily Cody will take over at about midfield as she works her way into the zone. Hands it off to Green. Bombers looking to find something. Hamilton playing that woman-to-woman defense as Cody works her way through traffic, top shelf, and nets it. Lily Cody. Her first here this evening in the Bombers' third with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go. A much-needed tally for Ithaca.
I was wondering when Cody was going to score. I was about to make a comment, should she have not have scored this possession, that she's yet to score on the day or yet to even so much as record a point on the day. But before I could get a chance to make that comment, she proves that stat wrong, getting her first goal of the day. And now Ithaca have the chance. They can start to make some momentum. There's still some time, but that clock is running, and some teammates on the defensive side yelling over to the offense, telling them, hey, let's get set up and move quickly. We still have a chance, but we've got to move quickly if we want to get back into this game.
Similar comeback for the men's that mounted this past weekend over the Clarkson Golden Knights. They'll get their first chance at the Liberty League playoffs in 4 long years. This women's squad, though, they've had better luck in the Liberty League tournament and the NCAA tournament as well. Another draw control there for the Continentals as a couple of pushes and shoves, and Lexi Kellish comes away with that one.
It's been a real physical game, as physical as you could possibly be within the rules and parameters of women's lacrosse, but it's been a tightly fought game is the best way to put it. As again, you can't really lay physical contact, but you can get into the face and you can really battle for these ground balls, and each team fighting tooth and nail for every inch of this field.
It will actually be called a green card, so the Bombers are woman up right now, right in front of the cage. And Natural just threw it over the top of the crossbar, but the Bombers recollect. Here's Green behind the zone as she works her way to the near side of the field. Whistle blown, they reconvene, and it's Armstrong at X as she tosses it over. Bombers looking to find a good chance here. 27 seconds left in the woman up advantage. And they get it done there. Lexi Kellish goes bottom corner. And the grad student, 2024 Liberty League honorable mention, gets her 14th goal of the season.
And the Bombers got a little bit of momentum now. Great offensive possession. Natural it missed by just enough. She just barely missed, as close as you could be without hitting any part of the net. But then Ithaca able to keep possession, continue the ball movement, and finally take advantage of an opportunity presented in front of them. It's a 9-goal game, and they've got the momentum. Now, can they continue to take advantage of it?
13-4, Bombers still trail with 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3. Hamilton outscoring the Bombers in this quarter 4-2. But Ithaca looking to flip the script. That second quarter really got away from Ithaca. 6-1. The Continentals outscored them there. Here's Leifer with it. She's been quiet here in this third. Continentals get it away to Schlafer, who has a goal in this one. She works it down the field to the near side. Hounded by Gabrielle Krell, good work by the freshman on defense. Continentals look to set something up. Here's Cleary with it. Tosses it to the far side of the field. At exits Goldsmith. Now back to the far side. Continentals play pick and pop. Now Cleary tries for it. It's at the feet of Datillo and scooped up by 3 Bombers. See if Datillo gets credited for that save or if it'll just be a ground ball. Here's Dukes with it. Now Cody comes away. Cody trying to find some space. She hands it off to Liz Green right in front of the net. It's Armstrong trying to turn around. She's turned away by a couple of Hamilton defenders. Whistle blown and a free position chance for Ithaca.
Going back to that last shot, it was not ruled a save, but rather blocked in front, not specified by who. There were a bunch of Bombers, bodies in the way, so still 13 saves for Datillo.
Right at the feet, Paolucci lost it. Now Green comes away with it. Cody. Just outside the 12-meter. Now Green works her way to the 8-meter. Trying to find a lane through traffic. Cody gets it off to Natural. Good ball movement by the Bombers. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. 35 seconds remain on the shot clock for the Bombers. Ithaca being patient with it as Scallon had it knocked out of her stick down low.
It'll be another free possession shot for the Bombers. See if they can capitalize on this opportunity.
Scallon right into the lane, top corner, and nets it. 5-13, and Scallon with her 7th game in a row with a goal.
Scallon, the first year out of Summit, New Jersey, really an incredible player and really coming into her own late this season. And the Bombers slowly are starting to creep back into this game.
16 goals on the year for Catherine Scallon, the freshman. 5-13, the score with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining here in this third frame. This Hamilton defense, Bombers are starting to find some holes in it.
And not just are they finding holes, but they're also finding ways to score quickly, which is something they need to do with such a big goal differential.
26 shots on goal for the Continentals to Ithaca's 12. You look at the difference in score, you got to look at the offensive opportunities and the shots on goal. Hamilton coming out aggressive here in this possession already. It's Schlafer with it. Gets it knocked out of her stick. They recollect outside the 12-meter. Here's Leifer. Trying to work in on Green. Green trails her down low on Datillo and scooped up underneath by the senior in Mandel. Excuse me, the grad student in Mandel. She clears it all the way out. Now here's Kellish with it, throws it off the foot of Armstrong, it looked like. Azeri. She collects behind the net. Natural as a scramble for the ball. Who's going to come away with it? It will be the Continentals, and Leifer safely cradles it behind her net, but Armstrong trying to put the pressure on as the clock rings out. That'll be all for the third quarter of action. 13-5. The Bombers trail, trying to make a comeback, and we'll have the coverage here in the fourth quarter. Stay with us on Bomber Sports. (13-5) the score here from Higgins Stadium as we get ready to open up this fourth frame of play between the Ithaca Bombers and the Hamilton Continentals. Rana Crow alongside Max Raymond with your coverage here this evening. It's been a fun one so far. This Continentals offense has been simply phenomenal, but you got to hand it to their defense. For that first whole half, they held the Bombers to 2 goals and outscored them 6-1 in that second frame. But Ithaca not letting go of this one too easy. 3-4 in terms of goals in that third frame of play. And trying to make a little bit of a comeback here, trying to generate some momentum here late at Higgins Stadium.
Ithaca showing a lot of fight, showing a lot of grit, something that you do like to see when you talk about games that kind of get a little lopsided. You look for some of the positives. That's certainly one of them, and the other one is Datillo reaching 14 saves on the day. That's the start of her new single game high for most saves in a game.
Kellish gets the offense going, hands it off to Cody, and that'll be a free position chance early here in the fourth frame.
And of course, it's the Bombers' top goal scorer right now with the opportunity to score 13-ish seconds into this final frame of the game and really get the ball rolling for the Bombers.
Cody with 8 free position goals on the year. Can she make it 9? The answer is yes, Lily Cody answers the call here in this fourth frame, makes it 6-13, and potentially the beginning of this Bomber comeback.
The hill is steep but not impossible to climb for the Bombers, and scoring 16 seconds into this period really crucial for their comeback.
Cody with her second goal of the evening. And with 14 minutes to go, this game suddenly gets a lot more interesting. Bombers haven't lost at home, trying to defend their home field of Higgins Stadium. Playing in front of the home fans in this beautiful Ithaca weather here today. Got lucky with a 70-degree day. Sun is shining, and as the sun starts to trickle over the mountains and the shadows start to fall over Higgins Stadium, it starts to get a little bit chillier, but nonetheless a beautiful day for some lacrosse.
Finally, it's really starting to feel like spring. I was wondering when spring would actually be here. We've had 2-3 days like this, but then we'd have 3 straight days of, well, it feels like it's winter again. So it's starting to seem like it's really spring up here in Ithaca, New York.
Trust me, Max, as a golfer, I've been waiting for this weather, and I'm sure these lacrosse players have too, as Esposito works her way right down Broadway and is turned away by Paolucci. Another good save from the freshman goalkeeper. Natural stays on Carlisle West down low, trying to make it a little bit more difficult for this Hamilton team to clear out of the zone. They finally do. And work their way in for another offensive opportunity. A great save there by Datillo, make it number 15.
Continue to rack up the saves. That was a big one. Hamilton was moving fast, but Datillo continues to stand strong in net.
Datillo behind the cage. She hands it off to Liz Green. And here comes Azeri. Couple of mismatch in numbers down low. And pushed over right in front of the net was Natural. Another chance for Ithaca to convert on the free position try.
And you're set up in a great spot right down the middle. Beautiful lane and an opportunity should she choose to drive to the net and shoot. Of course, you can just simply pass it off, but you don't get too many lanes like this.
And nets it bottom corner, just past Paolucci. 7-13, and all of a sudden, this is a 6-goal game. What once was a 10-goal game.
The Bombers are fighting back. They're definitely fighting back. 2 goals in the first minute and 49 seconds of this fourth and final period, and they're scoring kind of quick. We could see a comeback. I'm struggling for the words because it almost feels unfathomable how Hamilton has dominated this game in the first half, and now all of a sudden the Bombers have just flipped the switch and figured out how to score against Hamilton today.
The Continentals, they've played stout in that first half and have kind of let it slip. You have to remember, this Bombers team is the number 21 team in the nation. They're not going to let this one slide away too easy. Especially
not with how big of an important game Saturday is for the seeding in Liberty League, and wanting to have some momentum. Today would be a big win and a huge momentum boost in the grand scheme of this final push towards the Liberty League playoffs. A comeback win today is monumental, and a win today is something that kind of starts to help build a resume should they try for maybe a potential at-large bid come the NCAA tournament time.
That's a great point, Max. As you look down the line at the Liberty League Championship, a win like this where you come from behind could generate so much confidence for your team and put you in a prime position to succeed. This team went into the third round of the NCAA tournament last year, and they're looking to build upon that success regardless of the fact that they lost a lot of their key contributors from last year, trying to prove that this lacrosse team is built of more than just a few.
And even though they've lost a lot, they've also gained quite a bit, as we're seeing today with Datillo as well as Catherine Scallon. So we're seeing some of the vets doing a great job and putting on the work. We're seeing some of the young guns getting a little taste of everyone today as Ithaca. They've got a chance to come back and actually win this game, something that I would not believe I'd be saying in that second quarter.
So many talented young players on this Ithaca squad that have helped out this season. As Leifer scoops it up and uses her speed to get right into the zone, but Green and Belcito are just absolutely glued to her, can't let her move anywhere.
Big reason why Ithaca's been able to do so well is especially in this transition. They've started using that double team, especially when it's Leifer with it, who's had it for a lot in this transition phase. The double team has been working quite well since they started implementing it in that late second, third quarter of this game.
Hamilton looking to get their first goal in quite some time. Bombers on a 4-goal run right now. Here's Leifer with it. Turned away from Datillo. Another good save for the freshman.
Although she's allowed 13 goals, the 16 saves, really great for Datillo.
It's Maddie Hall with it. Working it into the zone on the far side. Hall flicks it over to Armstrong, who tries to get there in time, but just can't quite reach it.
Hamilton now starting to step up defensively. They've seemingly gotten a little too relaxed and settled into thinking that they were going to easily cruise control their way to a win. They're now realizing that they've got to step up defensively.
11 minutes and 28 seconds to go. Here's Leifer with it. Behind the cage, it's Stone Street. And coming away with the goal is Alex Orlando, her fourth of this contest.
Talking about on the same note as that turning up defensively, Hamilton, they turn it up offensively. The quick passing back in full effect as Hamilton finally find an answer to the Bomber run.
14-7, Hamilton leads the Bombers with 11 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the fourth frame.
That comeback not totally out of the picture, but it's slowly starting to get there. If the Bombers can, though, figure out how to, again, net another 2 goals in under 2 minutes, and while they don't need to keep that pace to win, still finding a way to get some quick goals and keeping their defense tight is going to be important if they really want to get back and win this or make it a little more of a competitive final score.
And Sarah Stone Street, the senior, on the assist for the Continentals. She's 11th in the NESCAC in assists per game and continues to contribute to her team. When you have a facilitator like that, how valuable that is to your offense. Continentals come away with the draw control again. Here's Stone Street. As a whistle blown there, gives the Continentals a chance at this one. It'll be Cleary. Off to Orlando. Down low on Datillo. And Julia Lee comes away with the tally for the Continentals. Makes it 15-7. So all that momentum Ithaca generated starting to slip away again.
A great play. And that play, we saw it earlier in the first. That was how actually Hamilton scored. Their first goal was on that same play, the free position. Instead of shooting, pass it back, pass it over to Julia Lee right on the doorstep, and she scores. It's how they scored their first, and that's how they get their 15th goal for Hamilton.
Orlando with 5 points in this game. Make it 6, a goal to go along with 2 assists. 15-7, 10 minutes and 58 seconds to go. Bombers have a little bit of a hole to climb out of. Max Hamilton hasn't scored over 15 goals all season long, and they've exploded here at Higgins Stadium on this Tuesday afternoon.
Hamilton really looking to cement the fact, again, we've talked about it, how their record doesn't really show, and this is the last game of the season for the Continentals. They're looking to end their season on a high note, but also trying to creep into potentially the rankings. With this great showing today, there's a chance they could slide into one of those lower rankings, but still finishing the season ranked.
And you look at those games against ranked opponents for the Continentals, 4 of them were separated by 3 goals or less, so they fought hard in those games, just haven't come out on the winning side.
Today could be that day where they finally figure out how to beat a ranked opponent. But again, yeah, they've just really fought hard and battled this season. So for Hamilton, putting this game away in the fashion that they have played it so far, a great way to really end your season.
Stone Street to Kaltsas, and that one turned away by Datillo again, giving the Bombers a chance to get back on the board.
And for Ithaca, although this score seems a little lopsided, they've really done a great job cleaning up their game as it's gone on. Again, we look at the first half numbers, and especially that first period, we see Ithaca, they had 5 turnovers. Second period, 5 turnovers again. You look at so far, the third and combined here in the fourth, only 4. So they've done a great job at cutting down the turnovers, limiting the mistakes. So some really good things that you can look to in this game, and you can also learn a little more when you lose than when you win. And so for Ithaca, they'll be able to look back at this game as they get ready for Skidmore and then the Liberty Leagues. They'll be able to use this game as great film to be able to look back on and see where are they struggling and what can they do to improve moving forward, because even in this game alone, they've done a great job at improving upon their mistakes, especially those turnovers.
Sometimes a loss, too, right before the conference tournament can really motivate you and get you to tighten up right before your biggest games of the year.
A nice little wake-up call, you know, like a cold shower in the morning to get you going.
Not a cold shower fan myself, but...
See me, used to play baseball back in high school, and we used to have some 11 a.m. games on a Saturday, so the cold shower to wake you up was kind of needed. An alternative instead of drinking caffeine at the young age.
Well, as the sun finally dips below the horizon, it's starting to get a little colder here at Higgins Stadium. Wind moving from the far side of the field to the near side is turning and firing is Creamer. That one misses just wide of the cage, and the Bombers will get a chance to break out.
And when you look at the positives, Datillo now up to 18 saves, and she's reaching a point where this would be a great game for her, even with the goals allowed. As 18 saves is an incredible number in lacrosse. You don't see all too often a goalie even come this close to 20, let alone reaching it, and there's still time. She could reach that 20 save mark, which is a great feat to be had. A personal little stat.
33 shots she's had to face on goal, 37 shots in total. So doing a really solid job down there in the cage.
And Hamilton, too, that really speaks to the quality of their shots that they've taken today. Ithaca as well, 22 shots, 16 on goal. Both teams doing a great job with their accuracy of shooting. It's just been these two goaltenders that have really done a great job and had their way with this game as well.
So it'll be Sydney Smith with the free position try. She's had one free position goal on the year. See if she can make it 2. Smith. Off the crossbar. It rings into the air. Who will collect it? It bounces into the Hamilton net. An own goal off the stick of a Continental. But the Bombers will take what they can get. Make it 15-8 with 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go.
We've seen a handful of strange sequences today. 2 goals that were delayed in being called due to a penalty that was waved off beforehand, but I don't think none could be possibly as strange as that one. Just a weird bounce, a great shot that just hits the crossbar, goes sky high, bounces, and somehow finds its way in the back of the net. Sometimes that's just lacrosse, and you get lucky with those lucky bounces, and Ithaca definitely getting lucky there.
So they'll credit Smith with the tally.
That was really weird. I don't even know if it hit anyone. I think just maybe the spin off the crossbar put it in.
Just kind of looked like Paolucci lost it in the air, and 3 Continentals expecting her to catch it. It just rings off one of their bodies and in. 15-8 the score with 7 minutes to go. That's a goal every minute for the Bombers if they want to tie this one up.
It's not totally impossible, but definitely a major challenge as Hamilton's going to look to just continue their clean passing and kill some clock.
Time is their friend in this moment. Here's Kramer with it behind the net. Over to Cleary. Moving through traffic, it was Lee. That one's turned away by Datillo again, but the Continentals recollect. And that'll be a yellow card. As Mandel just made a little bit too much contact with Lee as she was trying to break out into the zone. So Mandel will sit for 2 minutes. Not a position you want to be in when you only got 6 minutes and 20 seconds to make your comeback.
Certainly not, but you know, it shows though that this Bombers team is still fighting. No matter what the score is, they're going to continue to fight with everything they've got till the very end. They came to play a full 60 today, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Cleary, down low, far side, netted. It's Lee with another one.
That was a beautiful shot, really hard shot for Datillo to try and make a save on. Just a whip shot, relatively high, kind of eye level for Datillo, but across the body, looking for the far side, just beautifully placed, and I believe one of the very few locations that Lee could have put that ball and still been able to find the back of the net.
So a couple of cards that have really hurt this Bombers comeback, as now it's 16-8 with 6 minutes to go, not 6 seconds.
But that's another thing that this Bombers team will be able to, again, when they have their film sessions and they start prepping for Skidmore, it'll just be another thing that they can look back on as, okay, this happened. How can we fix it and do better? And I think that this Ithaca team will do that. They're a good team. There is great veteran leadership. So for today, it'll just be finish strong. And tomorrow's task will be, all right, what can we do better? And I definitely think that they can use this film to see what they started to do that was better, especially with the cleaner offensive play, limiting the amount of turnovers that they've had here in the second half.
Trying to generate something with a couple of minutes to go. Here's Azeri with it. Behind the cage for Green. All the way back out. Green with it now as she had it stripped away from her. Continental's defense, man, they've done a really solid job at not giving Ithaca anything open.
Their presence on the field alone has really left this Bombers team scrambling in Ithaca. They've had some great looks, but sometimes these Ithaca players rush themselves due to the fact that they know that a Continental player is closing in on them. Hamilton, they play a tight defense, an in-your-face defense, which can be a little off-putting if you're an offensive player to try to catch a ball and then immediately there's a player, a defender, an opposing player in your face. It's not a comfortable position to be in.
Front of the doorstep to Tillo. Makes a good save in front there. Here's Stone Street working her way all the way around and gets that one to fall in.
Ball movement, ball movement, ball movement. We've been preaching it all day, but Hamilton has really been doing well. And I talk about what Ithaca could look back, but sometimes you can also try and adopt something. Now, granted, it's a little late in this game to try to take someone else's plays, but not necessarily the plays, but the idea, and you can see what they've done and say, hey, maybe we might want to sneak one or two of these kind of looks and these ideas of just using the pace of play. Because this Bombers team, they have some great players, and they have some players with a lot of speed. They might want to, during this next up-and-coming week of practice in preparation for Skidmore, look to use some of that speed and see what Hamilton has done. As again, you can learn a lot about yourself. You can also learn a lot about the game as well in a loss. There's always room to learn in a win, but especially in a loss.
A lot to learn here for this Bombers team as they approach the Liberty League playoffs. Draw control there by Lexi Kellish. And with 4 minutes and 28 seconds to go, the Bombers trying to put a punctuation mark on what they can for this game. Green all the way around the cage, and the Bombers swing it back out. Green with it now on the near side. And she'll be granted a free position try. Excuse me, that was Azeri with it. Azeri with the chance here. Can't find space. Hands it off to Kellish. Green with it now on the near side. Almost a sloppy pass to Cody. She collects it though. Kellish with it. Far side working back to center field. Bombers can't find a lane. 45 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time to make something happen. Quick ball movement from the Bombers. Green can't find space. 30 seconds on the shot clock now. Azeri, top corner, down and good. 5 games in a row with 2 or more goals for Azeri. The sophomore has been outstanding this season.
That was a Bombers goal.
And that's a play that you're gonna look back on and you're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna wanna save that, stick it in our back pocket, and keep it for the future. That was a great play from the Bombers. They decided to pick up the pace a little bit, especially with that passing. Kept it moving around, kept giving it to the next person. You don't have a lane, just keep it moving, and eventually the lane was there and they took advantage. That was a really nice play from the Bombers.
Really great skill from the stick of Azeri, too. She's brought so much for this Bombers team this year. Makes it 17-9 with just about 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. That one flicked up into the air, a race for the ball. And Showalter will scoop it up. Here's Martucci with it. And over to Orlando so Hamilton can set up their offense. Time ticking down. 3 minutes on the clock now for the Bombers here in quarter number 4. Hamilton with so much momentum coming into this one, having beaten Connecticut College just last weekend, as well as a fellow Liberty League opponent in University of Rochester, where they dismantled them 15-4. Have now busted through that goal total with 17 here this evening.
Hamilton's really finished their season strong. They've really put a nice solid bow on what can be considered a successful season once you take into consideration how difficult their schedule really was. And they've definitely had some great looks and a good idea of who's up and coming on this roster, as great combination of different years and classes that make up this Hamilton team. So a nice way to end your season. 3 wins is.
Bombers of women up. Cody moves through traffic and scores. 17-10. Bombers cut the deficit a little bit with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go. And Lily Cody has her third.
This Bombers team sticking to their word. They showed up to play 60 minutes, and that's exactly what they're doing. Continuing to run their offense, run their plays, and not allow this time to go to waste. And that's what good teams do. No matter what the score is, they continue to put their best foot forward because they know that they can use these reps to help prepare them for future opponents. So great job by the Bombers to not just roll over, be a bouncy ball, and try to bounce back a little bit and continue to put their best foot forward.
Hamilton outscoring the Bombers 9-2 in that first half. But how about this here in the second? Tied at 8 goals apiece. You take the first half away, this would be a really solid Lacrosse team, and Ithaca with a chance to still make it an even tighter game.
And something quite interesting, at the start of this game, we talked about how each team, they thrive more defensively, and it's interesting how in just this second half, Ithaca has 8 goals, which is surprising because Hamilton only allows an average of 8.8 and Ithaca 9.76. So also kind of interesting how this game is completely flipped from a defensive to an offensive game.
Bombers 21-16 all-time against the Continentals, 11-8 all-time at home. Have won 4 of their last 5 matchups, though, against this Hamilton team. With 1 minute and 30 seconds to go on the clock, it's 17-10, and the Continentals will get another chance to convert here.
Ithaca's learned, they were ready for that pass back. They anticipated the play, and they defended it quite nicely.
Making those adjustments here late in the game. Here's Stone Street with it. Goes down low. Datillo blocks it away. Kramer will be the one closest to it. Hands it to Leifer. Haven't called her name much here in this fourth. Datillo scoops that one off. An errant pass from the Continentals, and with 50 seconds on the clock, they'll try and get one more before the end of this game.
This Ithaca team, they're not going to just let this clock burn out. No, they want that one more.
36 seconds to go. Here's Kellish with it. Kellish to Green. 30 seconds on the clock. Cody with it. At the center, down low to Kellish, who goes underneath. Paulucci gets the save on her. Bombers, good persistence, as Kellish throws it towards the cage and makes it 11-17. Bombers trail by 6 with 11 seconds on the clock. So Ithaca will fall to 9-5 on the year, still 6-3 in the Liberty League. Have their last Liberty League game against Skidmore this weekend. As for the Continentals, they'll move to 6-8 on the season, pick up their first ranked win on the year. 2-8 in the NESCAC, so their conference season is largely over, but a good way to end your season with a win over a ranked team.
A beautiful way to end your season for Hamilton. The 3 consecutive wins, playing your game against a ranked opponent, and really proving that you can handle a ranked opponent again. Finally being able to have a little bit of closure, for lack of a better word, as again, coming into today, 0-7 against ranked opponents. Finally, you get the one win.
Get to end your season on a positive note. This game against Ithaca for the Continentals is their final one of the year.
And for Ithaca, the true dog days and road of this season really kind of get started after today. Again, you wrap your season with the Liberty League matchup against Skidmore, but then you've got to get ready for the Liberty League tournament.
4 seconds on the clock. And here's Puppo, couldn't get the shot off on time. So 17-11, the final score. That Continental defense doing such a great job. The Bombers trying to mount that comeback a little bit later on in the game, but nonetheless, they'll fall to 9-6 and move on this weekend to play Skidmore. As for Hamilton, they'll wrap up their season with 3 wins in a row, including this one over Ithaca. It's been a pleasure to join you here from Higgins Stadium. For Rayanna DeCrow and Max Raymond, and from the rest of our crew here, we appreciate you tuning in and listening to this presentation of Ithaca Women's Lacrosse.